Hello.
Hey everyone. Gail, I'm so proud of you. First one here.
Always. Gail should win an award for
I
always
know.
being the first one here. She's so good at that. We so appreciate you, Gail, for always making sure you're here with us. We really enjoy having you here. Hey, Cassandra, how are you?
Sarah, I'm so good. How are you?
Doing well. Yeah, we're doing okay. It's been a busy week, but we are hanging in there. How it is beads to live by?
Busy, but awesome. We've been working on our website, so we've added some new categories, and I'm sure you have enough experience with that kind of stuff to know that the back end work takes a little bit of doing.
It's so much longer than you think. It's like if you think it's going to be an hour, add times 4.
Magic. Like on the user end, it's like, here are 150 different colors of this bead, and I'm my end, I'm like, we're all crazy, like, what's happening?
Stuff going all over the place.
Yes, keep flying.
Oh, what new items did you add? Tell us all about it.
So we have added our 4mm fire polish that we're going to be carrying online. So we have like over 150 colors of those. And this week, especially for this broadcast, I added, I don't know if everybody can see the work view right now, but I added our
we can see that.
Beads that are in that in this project. So there's like colors of those and ESO beads, which are a 2-hole bead, and piggy beads, which we've been having some fun with those. And those were things we weren't really even carrying in the store anymore. So it's like we birthed like all sorts of creativity with things that we hadn't worked with in a while.
What is your website?
It is www.beadstoliveby, just our name spelled out.com. And it's TO, not the number 2. I get that question a lot.
So have you been like going through things and to put them up online, and that's what's sparking the extra creativity for those items?
Oh my goodness, yes. At any time, again, I know you girls know what I'm talking about, and you're like sifting through things that you have to work with, and it's like, oh, this bead is extra pretty. I'm just gonna slide that off to the side and use that in my next sample, or whatever happens. I don't know. Something in my brain just like clicks, and it's like, oh, this is what I could do with this product today. So yeah.
I find when I'm doing really boring work, like loading beads onto a website, that I need a creativity break inside my head to use my imagination.
I like that creativity break. I'm going to use that. That sounds like a Sarah coined phrase, creativity.
Oh, yeah. That's what I feel like my little Instagram reels are. Creativity breaks. I need a creativity break today. So I'm going to make an Instagram reel.
For me, I really think those things are, at least the way I think of it, is it's like a little like carrot on the end of a stick. Like I have to bribe myself to do the things I don't want to do.
Right.
For sure.
I totally get it.
I know. Yeah. Sarah does a good job of kind of flipping the script sometimes, where she'll go, oh, I want to make these earrings, so I can make them if I do a reel right now. So, you know what I mean? So she's like, because every time I'm like, oh, I wanted to use that product, she goes, you should make a reel.
It's like that's right.
Okay, well, now I know. Gives me the reason, like, okay, I give myself permission to make this item because I'm going to make a reel with it. So now it's okay.
I mean, everybody gets a creativity break.
That's true. You're spreading the love.
Yeah.
The Oprah. Sarah's like the Oprah of creativity breaks.
Yeah. You get a creativity break.
You get a creativity break. And you get a creativity break.
Oh my goodness. Perfect.
Sure. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Cassandra is going to be showing us a fantastic pair of earrings today. They're really, really stunning. I know you guys are going to love them. Before we get going, I had a couple things I wanted to talk with you about, and Kristen will probably chime in as well. We did a huge spring cleaning on our website because we had just a few straggler things that have been sitting for just a little too long. And so we put them into Closeout, and then we went through the entire Closeout. Some things got a deeper discount because they've been sitting in there too long. Some things got moved out or moved around. So it's just like a really nice freshening of the website this week. And so we're going to give you an extra 10% off on all of the closeout items, the new closeout items and the older closeout items this week through next Tuesday. It started today, and we added how many new items, Kristen? Was it like 45?
Thomas might have a better idea of the actual line items. I know that the whole category as a whole right now is like 260 something in terms of items that are now in there. So there's a bunch of stuff, and
Yeah.
so, Thomas says so many items added.
He did a lot of work for it. So thank you, Thomas.
And some things went up to 55% off with that extra 10% discount that's happening this week. So there was some stuff that was sitting.
Where's the we? I did all of that.
What is this? We added these items.
Right? Sorry. Yes, Thomas did a lot of that. Kristen and I did a lot of the organizing, listing, and then Thomas did a lot of the actual moving around. So some of the items that are on Closeout are these fantastic check beads in 4 different colors. They're really, really pretty. We didn't use them in a lot of projects, and I think that's why they sat for a while. But we're ready to just give them to you at a discount. So you can grab those. Here's one that I think I did on an Instagram reel.
Yes,
which is
I think you
simple bead on a little soft flex wire. But I was thinking how fantastic these would be with the tiara cast rings, either the spiral or the hammer tone ring. They would be a lot of fun to play around with, hanging a ring from it or hanging this inside of the ring. I might play with that a little bit today while Cassandra's showing us these earrings. Also,
and that color that Sarah was just showing is kind of on the very Perry side of things. I don't know if it's picking up on the camera as much, but it's got like a very soft purple, almost very Perry.
Yeah, there's that color. There's a red, which I used all of my red because red is one of my favorite colors. An emerald green. If you have any May people in your life, you could make them something really pretty with this piece. Like green can move in with all sorts of other colors, and I really love it mixed in with turquoise and teal. Can make it look very like peacockish.
Mm-hmm.
So
pretty.
This is an emerald, but you could totally replace it with that check glass bead, and it would look lovely. These ones, I have been in love with these. I'm surprised these are still around. I think we just had such a big number of them. And I think they were possibly in a kit at some point, but they're really pretty. They have kind of a lacy side to them. And then it's a table cut check glass bead. These really lovely greens, which are perfect for this time of year. I think we have just one of these left from our Pantone line.
That is actually the pastel party, and we had 2 of them as of this morning and 1 of the pink left.
And then we also, and I'll probably take this one back, so it'll go for sale next Tuesday when I get it back to the office. But we also had 2 kits that somebody had found in our warehouse that went up live today. Those are not in Closeout. Those are just regular. But if you were looking for a pastel party kit or the TGBE Spring Fling kit, Kristen?
Right. Yeah, those are the 2.
There was just one of each that we found, and you can go nab those while they're available again. This was an Instagram reel I did yesterday. So if you want to see how to use those fun rainbow colors in the ultimate paint, I did that on this wood piece, and then I just threw it together with a single bead. And you can find that on Instagram or TikTok. And of course, we've got all of our rainbow stuff for Love is Love. We've got our Love is Love kit still. We've got some of the bead mix, the bead strand, and then all of the ultimate paints.
Susan is saying she got some of those in a live sale and she made them in wedding jewelry, the blue ones with the lacy edge on them.
Ooh.
Was that the something blue, Susan?
Oh, that's so cute. Yeah, they're really pretty. I think they just have like this really charming fringy edge to them.
I don't think I got one of those strands, so
they are pretty. It's a full strand. I did use part of the strand. It's like a full strand of them, and I just have these 4 left.
I can't keep up with all of the new products.
That sounded like regret, Kristen.
I was like, I didn't get those pretty lacy ones, but honestly, I can't keep up.
It's a lot lately. Yeah, it's a lot. We have a mutual friend, Cassandra and Soflix as a mutual friend that went out of business. And so we both purchased a lot of things from that mutual friend. That is what's keeping us all very busy these days.
Totally.
I know.
Hurts your name on a regular basis.
Well, we're excited to see these earrings, but before we do that, will you tell us how the bead cruise went? Because last time we saw you, it was like a week and you were going to go on a big cruise.
Oh my word. I can't believe it's been that long. And I also can't believe that it has only been that long.
It goes both ways. Yeah.
Yeah. The bead cruise was amazing. So this is my 3rd year attending, and the first year was in 2019 when Heather asked me to assist her and be her roommate. So I tagged along for the first year and my feet wet. And then in 2020, we made it out and back in from sea just before things started to shut down, heavily in the US. So that was my first year skiing and really getting more involved. So this spring I taught again, and it's a blast. Just to give people kind of an idea, there's almost an activity every day that is bead related, but you're on a regular Royal Caribbean cruise ship. So you have we were on one of the larger class of ships this time. So we literally had this Central Park is what they call it area in the middle of the boat where you can go and just traipse through this little park with real trees, real foliage. There's cafes and bars and restaurants and all sorts of just crazy amenities on a ship that size. But the bead part of it, we had a pajama party, we had a cocktail party where everybody dressed up in their most sparkly jewelry and outfit.
How many guests are there?
So the cruise ship, I want to say they were at still maybe around 50% capacity. So total cruisers, there was less than 4,000, which is still a lot of people. And then the bead cruise part of it, I think usually has around 50 guests. So that group, cool. You're all together at different points, and then the classes are, I think, less than 20 people in class. So that keeps it very manageable for us instructors, maybe even just 15 people if I'm remembering my class limits right. But
wow, that's awesome. That sounds so fun. What did you end up teaching? How many classes did you teach?
So I only teach one class, and I am just gonna continue to talk and go off camera just a tiny bit because I have my sample right here. I
feel like a hook just came.
I know. Oh my goodness.
Andrew always talks about when we're doing Great Bead Extravaganza that if I had a hook, sometimes when he's just talking and talking, I would just go. Right off the screen.
So this is the project that I taught.
Right to your hand.
Oh, it's
so
lovely.
Really Ooh.
That is so pretty.
And what's really awesome about this project, and part of the reason I taught it, is because these components go by really quickly, and then you can and you can put them together. Like this happens to be a bracelet, but I've got samples that I did as full necklaces, or I love huge earrings, so this is like totally an earring for me.
Yeah, I can see that. And then you could even just use one too if you wanted to make a necklace with just one of them. Like there's a lot of options.
Like a simple pendant.
So pretty.
Yeah.
Well, you guys out there, click the heart symbol or the thumbs up if you're on Facebook if you think that design is as pretty as I do. I think it is stunning.
It's really stunning.
I would wear that in a heartbeat.
Thank you so much. I did teach it as a virtual class last weekend, and that was like the last iteration of that. So the kits are available on our website now with full color, like picture illustration instructions. And I think it's a great project. It uses some specialty beads and some findings from a Symbol brand line of products, but the kits include like enough for people to do 5 of these components. So they could do like a whole bracelet instead of earrings, or pendants for multiple people, all sorts of things.
Wait, so this kit is for sale on your website right now?
Right as we speak, yes.
What?
And it's called the Vintage Reflections project is what this is.
Is it only one colorway, or do you have more than one colorway?
There are actually 3 colorways. So
I knew it.
Involved.
Had to be.
What are the other colorways? Because I'm loving this, but I imagine the others are great too.
So the other 2 are very turquoisey because of course, the theme of being on a ship when I was designing the kits and the project. So one has like bright gold findings and looks like bright turquoise and sea glass kind of, and then the other kit has like a vintage or antique bronze or brass finding with a little bit more of like a subdued turquoise. And I mean, I agree. They're a very hard decision to make. They're all beautiful.
Can you pick up that earring at the top down below and hold it up with that bracelet? And
look at that.
Look at that.
Those match like almost perfectly.
I must have a color sort of story going on.
Yeah. Well, is that going to be a kit too, the earring that you're showing us today?
So I've added a lot of the products for these earrings that I'm going to demo today. I haven't done any specific kits, but if people were like totally gaga over certain color schemes, I would definitely consider throwing some together.
Okay. It's just good to know, you guys, that you can get this bracelet, or it's really a kit where you can make a necklace or earrings or a bracelet, depending on your style. But you can also get all the parts to make the earrings that she's going to show us today. And
what's interesting about that idea
in such a lovely way.
What's interesting about that idea too, Sarah, is that a handful of the components, the beads that are in the kit for this project, for the Vintage Reflections, would be transferable. People could throw them into. So there's the possibilities there.
Oh, I like
Super
it.
Cool.
How much is this kit for the bracelet?
So I really hope I'm not misquoting myself. I think it's a $60 kit and includes, like I said, the 5 components worth of beads and findings, as well as like these beads that are connecting the bracelet. Those are included in maybe to be able to like, put different things together, along with like head pins, wire, jump rings, our favorite clasps, which are these ball and socket style ones. I don't know if you guys are, I'm sure you've seen these before, but for
I've
any of
seen
our
them, but
viewers.
I never use them, so I would
Oh
love
my
to see
goodness,
how it
they're
works.
so convenient.
Oh, you just pop them in like that?
In and out, and I'm telling you, you will never go back to like a lobster claw on your necklaces again, because it's so much harder for me, at least, to use a lobster claw on the back of my neck.
On a bracelet too.
And on a bracelet, yeah.
Mhm.
So and these clasps are listed in like 5 packs or assorted quantities on our website in different colors as well by
That
themselves.
is so interesting. It's like a little button. You like push
It
it.
is. Yep. And
I'm like, ooh.
there's like a mechanism
Magic.
inside of that ring that holds the little ball just by like just the right tension. So people are always
I
worried, like,
see.
yeah, like, does it fall off? And I've had them on bracelets for years and not had an issue. So
What kind of clasp do you call that?
it's a ball and socket clasp.
I'm gonna have to look for some of those too.
Very
this is
cool.
awesome. I'm so glad that you showed us the project you did at the bead cruise, because now I'm just totally in love with it. I might need to go nab one of those. But let's move on to this beautiful earring and see how that is made. And I can't wait to see how you put this together.
Awesome.
Yeah, this is really fun. Is this kind of a herringbone style? Is that what that is for the wrapping?
That's such a good eye on you, Kristen. That's exactly what it is.
I've never done it, but I've definitely seen it and always thought it was pretty, but it's a little different because you've got the beads added in there.
Exactly. And that's something that I saw. So a lot of inspiration that I gained for my projects is from like costume jewelry on, like big commercial websites and, things that are like pre-made findings and molds that I think, okay, how can I make that so that somebody doesn't have to have a super like fancy special component in order to have something look similar. So like, a chandelier style earring, normally you need something really like specific to be able to make that. And I thought, well, this is kind of fun, a way to get that extra dangle in without having to use anything other than your wire and head pins.
I love it.
So smart.
Yeah.
It's really lovely.
This project was totally born out of, I wish I remembered the name of the wonderful person on our last show who was inquiring about whether you guys or I would be doing more wire projects. And I said, oh, challenge accepted.
Good job remembering that.
I wonder if you're still here. You're probably here.
Yeah.
Raise your
if you're
hand
here, shout out.
Paula is saying how pretty she thinks those earrings are, and Connie says she just loves the colors.
Thank you, Connie. I do love me some like funky color combinations. So I've been really playing around with the like different colors of the styles I've put together here.
That's got a mid-century modern look to it. I like that a lot.
The influence must be because we just moved into a home a few months ago that is mid-century modern, like 50s built house. So.
Oh, how fun. Are you inspired to kind of bring that into your space now that you're in that kind of a home?
Ben.
I used to live in one and I loved it. It was so cute. It was just such a sweet little home.
We were so happy to be on a single level, like for the most part, house. So that part's really spectacular. And since we're working with Softflex today, this is what I am using, which is a 22 gauge in the craft wire. And this spool is the silver on silver non-tarnish color, but the color that I have in my hand is a little bit deeper. And Sarah, would you correct me if I'm wrong? Is that a pewter color?
Yes.
In the wire? Okay.
It is, because I love pewter and I noticed it as soon as you had it in your hands.
Yeah. So that's what I've got, the pewter in the wire portion of this earring, and these are the colors I'm going to demo in. And then the head pins are actually in the brighter silver because I love to mix metals and don't feel like there's any rules about that being right or wrong. So I've got that brighter silver on those dangles in the head pin.
Cool.
There should be no rules in creativity.
Right.
So I will actually demo the head pin portion is the best thing to start with. And I mean, I have like probably a 1.5 to 2 inch head pin here. That part of it is really up to whatever people have in their stash or their favorite size and brand. I am not hard and fast about. I mean, I like probably a 22 gauge or I don't know, 24 gauge is a little thin, 21 plus is a little thick on a head pin, but it depends on the material too. So I like to make my dangle first because then all you have to do while you're doing your wire wrapping is just slide those dangles on as you work. And I think that's a little bit more convenient. So my center dangle has like a little crystal bicone on it. I did also list, we've got these really sweet little, I don't know how well you can see these little rondelles, but
So
I did list like 10 colors or so of those on the website today. So people can look for those 1.5 by 3 millimeter crystal donuts or rondelle beads. And then the only thing that is in some of these earrings that I don't have listed are a 3 millimeter fire polish. That's the next category to be added. So working on that.
So Connie is asking what gauge was the wire. I think that you held up a 22 gauge. Was that correct?
That is correct. Even though it wasn't the same color in the spool, that's the correct size of the craft wire. So
yeah,
with
if you
those,
guys are familiar, just for a quick flash, craft wire from Softflex is a copper-based wire. The one that she is using has a silver plating, and then it has a non-tarnish coating over the top of it. So it always stays that same metal color. So it's a lot of fun to work with because your design is going to look the same forever, which is nice.
definitely. That's preferable when we put all the work into this, right?
Right? Yes.
For these head pin dangles, I am just doing what I learned to be called a gallery wrap in the wire. So I do a right angle bend off of that initial head pin shape. And then with my round nose pliers, I choose like how big I want my loop to be by sliding up and down the nose of my pliers. And I bring that little stump of wire up and over. And then I usually end up having to just readjust my loop a little bit before I let beads slide back up it. No, that's not what you're going for. And then repositioning those pliers to create the remainder of the loop. Now at this point, if I didn't have this, if I was not creating a closed loop to slide onto my work, if I was sliding this onto my work after it was complete, then I would want to slide this on before I do anything else while this area is still open. But since I want to go ahead and close this loop off, I'm just going to take my pliers and grab the loop across the face of it. And I like to do just a little bit of a messy wrap where I just don't really try to like make a super even keeled perfect wrap. I don't want it to try to be perfect because it will never be perfect.
Right.
And then I have my flush cutters here that I use constantly for all sorts of horrible things like cutting my strands of beads. And when you get in there and snip that little nub of wire off, you want to be able to be looking at the interior of those pliers. You want the flat part to face your project. So that's the first one I'll attach. So I'll get to the other wire wrapping before I continue to make several more of those little, because I have 2 more little dangles that I'll need to make. But the first one that I attach will be the center one. So I've got, gosh, probably not even 18 inches of this 22 gauge wire. Like, it's not a super long piece. So I'm going to repeat that gallery wrap, and I never, you know, make the same length bend on a piece of wire 2 times in a row. So we're going to say that this is like 2 to 3 inches just because it was nice and generous. And then you're going to, again, make sure you size your loop in the way that you would like to size it. Now, my pliers are really tiny and pointy at the end, and I'm going about 1/3 of the way up them. But that's not to say that everyone's going to get the same size loop by doing that. So if you're paying really close attention to those things, this is, you know, like what the size of the loop looks like. If that is helpful in determining, I would guess maybe it's like not even 1/4 of an inch wide. So I don't subscribe to those things needing to be super specific, but I know some people are really concerned about making the exact right, you know, choices. So one reason I like to leave a little extra of this wire on the herringbone wrap part is because you do want, as you bend this wire around that core piece of wire that's still straight. And of course, I'm trying to see this off camera so I can make sure I've got like 2+ spirals here. And I'll show you guys back on camera. You want a slightly elongated space there where that spiral is, because when you get back around to it, that is going to be utilized in another portion of your wrapping. So I'm going to get rid of this little nub again. And then on my center, if you were noticing, there's like beads on top of and below that center portion of the earring where the drop bead is sitting. So I'm going to string on, and the portion I just completed is the top portion because I sealed it off without adding my dangle. So if you were paying attention to that, that's how I'm going to string these on with the little crystal that's going to sit at the top, and then the drop bead is facing this direction. We're going to go that way with it down to the wrap there. And then the other thing you want to pay attention to on this end is we want the loops to face the same direction. So I'm going to bend my wire either way, this way, or I could have gone to the left or the right in that case. But I'm making the bend so that when I create the loop, they'll face the same way. And I do want to leave, I don't know that I have quite enough there. I'm going to reposition the pliers and give myself just a little bit more room, because in that area between the bend and the beads, I want there to be space to create another spiral area. I want the same amount of spiral that I have at the top end. That's what I'm trying to say. And I apologize for knocking my camera around. That's the perils of using the most basic forms of video equipment. I don't know if equipment's a really generous way to put it. So now I've got that bottom loop partly started, and I'm going to string on that dangle that's going to hang at the center of the earring. So I've got the end of my wire here, and we're just going to bring that loop down to the other loop, and then you just want to, sometimes it clicks a little bit, you just have to pull your finished loop past the point where those two pieces of wire are crossing over on the new loop. And then, so what happens, magical things with your herringbone weave is this long piece of wire that's, like I said, over a foot long still is going to remain on here. Do not trim this piece. This is how you're going to create your wrapping around that drop bead. So we're going to start by, we want that to spiral, and I might just have to move this off camera for just a second. There we go. We want that to spiral around the center wire again. Just enough to, once your wire hits the bottom of the beads, then you're good to go. So this is a really quick herringbone. If you pay attention to other wire weaving artists, there's, you know, really intricate wrapping you can do, but with this one, I just wanted a really short and sweet. So like the first wrap we do will have no beads on it, and then there's a second wrap with the beads, and that's all there is to it. So I'm gonna bring, this wire is coming off of the side of the, I'm on what we're gonna consider the front of the earring, because the wire is overlapping on the top here. So we bring it up to the top of the earring, and we're going to do one singular wrap around that top portion, and then we're going to bring that piece of wire back down along the other side of the bead in the center. And then you'll notice I'm like pushing, really like gripping with, if you can't see that, the indentation in my finger, you're going to really use your fingers to mold and push that wire that you're laying, because you want that wire to lay beside your bead that's in the center. And so we're going to come around, and when we come around the bottom, we're moving down past the last piece of wire and get that little dangle out of our way. That's probably the only downfall to doing that ahead of time. So now we're in a position where we need our next loop, our next dangle. So I need to figure out what I did. I've got a 3 and a 4 millimeter on this dangle with the 4 millimeter on the bottom. So we'll just I'll do it on camera still so you guys can see the process, but I won't go belaboring the point of how that part's done, because you've seen that a couple of times now. Kristen and Sarah, I'm assuming you guys have muted yourselves, and this is not the same as our last show where I just could no longer hear you for some reason.
Yeah, no, I just muted myself because I didn't want to interrupt you. You're doing
okay, no, that's fine. I just started to get a little bit nervous, like, oh no.
Where did everybody go?
And then I dropped half a strand of beads all over the floor. So I got down on my hands and knees and tried to pick them up.
Oh no.
So
well, I'm sorry for calling you out now. Oh no. Gosh, it's like all the worst things that could have happened other than me losing you guys again.
I was saying that on my video on Monday. I was like, it's almost like the beads, like that's their main goal in life, is like just get to the floor. Like that's their whole goal.
Oh my goodness.
Because every time I bead, they go flying. And I'm like, it's like that's their whole goal.
That sounds very accurate. It's like animals in the wild that all their goal is just to reproduce and procreate. And the beads, all they are meant to do in life is to just scatter on our carpet and our tile and our hardwood floors.
Sometimes you can just not fight gravity. It just,
no.
You just can't stop it.
You just have to give in to it. So I am right now at the base of that earring with my long piece of wire. And the first thing I'm going to do is add a dangle. And this is going to be like on one side of that base. And then in my demos here, I've done 1 size 8 seed bead, one of those 1.5 by 3 millimeter crystals, and then another size 8 seed bead. And that is my little like accent along the side. That is, I think, just the right size for this size drop to create some interest without overpowering anything and without getting in the way of that beautiful herringbone wrap, because you're going to take your wire back up, and again, you work on top of your last wrap at the top of the earring. And you just have to use your non-dominant hand. I'm right-handed, so I'm holding this part with my left hand to control the fact that I want this wire to still lay beside the last one that I did. So I'm going to do that wrap again around the top. And then I just triple check and let everything dangle to make sure that it all hangs the way I would like for it to. And then you will notice too, when you come down this side, you have to string your beads in the opposite order. So on this side, I started with my dangle and did these 3. I have to do that 3, those 3 in that sequence, and then the dangle at the end. So I'll show you guys what I'm talking about here. Put these on here. I'm trying not to have my bead board on the camera too much because it's got holes in it and it's just really sad. So I start with this size 8 and the 1.5 by 3 millimeter rondelle, and then the size 8 seed bead. And then I actually need to make that other dangle because, you know, I didn't want to prep all 3 of those things at once. So we'll throw that together. But if you were in like a production sort of mode and you wanted to make a bunch of these earrings, I really do, I'm a firm believer, even though it's not fun to do a bunch of the same thing all at once, if you needed to make a handful of these earrings, I think making your drops ahead of time, like all at once, is highly recommended in my opinion. Because you can see how much it, you know, causes a time lapse for me to stop and do that in between the other portions of the earring. So that's my last drop that I need. And I'm being lazy and trying, for the sake of Facebook magic, to not stop and adjust all of my little wire wraps I'm doing. But you may, oh, thank you, Cindy. You may want to do some tucking of your wire ends, and I can show you guys that if we have time. But again, I'm just trying to guide this this side of my earring so that it will lay properly. And you know, some of the testing of that is a little harder as you get towards the base, but I think I've got it set the way I want it to. And of course, my bangs are in my face at the same time as I'm trying to see this here. Speaking of beads always being like in a position where they want to be somewhere, my bangs always want to be right in front of my eyeballs. So again, just a quick check, and I plan
to never have bangs again. I have tried them so many times. I feel like I've learned my lesson. We'll see.
Isn't it one of those things, though? It's just like having your hair long and short, where you go into the hairdresser, you're like, I need to change. And
every once in a while. And then I'm like, why did I do that again?
So the bangs were like, I do want to change, but I also know that I don't do regular bangs at all well. Mm-hmm. So she did some, what did she call them? Some kind of curtain bangs where they are just like, to the sides still. So I'm not complaining about them in a sense that I don't like them, but they definitely affect, you know, like I should have clipped them back while I was working.
Yeah.
So here
I'm a patient enough person for bangs.
They definitely require a little bit of extra work, especially I have cowlicks in the entire front portion of my forehead. So
oh man.
Definitely takes a little extra something. So I have done a couple extra wraps at the base here with that long piece of wire. And that is the last thing that I have to do before I've got my wire secured and I can just get in there with my flush cutters, and you just have to be extra careful that you don't cut any other pieces of your wire. And you have, voila, an earring completed.
So pretty.
Ta-da.
So great. Jessica is saying that she loves adding beads to herringbone wrap, but she's never added a dangle. Great idea. Aww. She really loves it.
That makes me so happy when I have like maybe a slightly original idea.
Janine says she never saw the herringbone wrap at all and will definitely be making these awesome earrings. Yeah, they're really cool.
Aw, well, the herringbone wrap, I've used it in a few things. It's like my one wire trick that I feel like I understand well enough to like, you know, do in an acceptable way to share with others. So that's I really have fun with it. But I actually used it. I didn't do the video with you guys. It was on our Facebook page on Beads to Live By, but I used it with your wire and did some little dangles between the beads. So the beads were maybe like an 8mm size like this that had the herringbone around them in more layers, like maybe 3 or 4 layers. And then those were connected with jump rings, and I had little soft flex, the stringing wire. I used it for like a little dangle with beads in between all of that. I'll see if I can find a picture and send you guys at some point, just so that you know what I'm babbling about. But
yeah, we always love to see what you're up to.
Yeah, it looks really good. You did a really nice job on those earrings, and I noticed that the one above is just a little bit bigger, so you can actually change up the size of the beads, and it almost looks like a different design.
Yeah, so I did an extra wrap on this one. That one has 2 bare wire layers along the bead before I added the 3rd layer with the dangles and the accent beads. And this, I have got to look up the size of this drop, but we carry a handful of colors of these too. And I didn't put any beads on the top or bottom of this one because it's such a, bigger bead. I just thought, I didn't need it. But yeah, I've got like a little tear cast accent baser bead down here. And I don't even know which one of these this is because they sent it in like, I think it was in the swag bags for the bead cruise. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how fabulous these are. I need to order some now.
We have those. They're flour nuggets. I've been using them like crazy.
Oh my gosh, yes. They're so stinking cute. And their holes are a little bit bigger, aren't they?
Uh-huh. They are. We can't keep them in stock right now, but I think we're in stock at the moment. So
okay. Well, I'm going to be ordering some of those puppies. And I made this one into an earring because I've, said it before. I'll say it a million times again. I love a big dangly earring, but I also made this sample just so people could see, like, you could definitely do this as a pendant if you're not an earring person on a necklace. And this would be like a great focal point. And then perhaps maybe some herringbone just with beads and chain in between. I don't know. There's so many possibilities.
Yeah. And any of you guys that are remaking my Great Bead Extravaganza bracelet, it would match those earrings so well.
Yeah, it would.
Speaking of having
now I'm gonna have to go find that.
And since I am talking about it, the nugget bars and the end bars that we have sold out of 3 times since Great Bead Extravaganza are back in stock. So you can find those on the Softflex Company website again until
again.
I see Deborah's here from Vallejo. Vallejo is my sister city. I live in Benicia. So happy to have you here. Thanks for joining us, Deborah. Well, this looks so good. So both of our companies, Beads to Live By and Softflex Company, are small businesses. It is Small Business Week. So if you don't mind, if you could give this video a like, if you could share it with on your timeline or with your favorite bead people or crafting people, we would surely appreciate that. We're always looking for more reach and ways to get our businesses out there. And then if you haven't already, make sure you go over to Beads to Live By on Facebook and on Instagram and follow what Cassandra is up to, because she's doing some semi-regular live videos and tutorials that are similar to this. And I don't think you have a regular schedule though, right, Cassandra?
So I have been trying to schedule a few weeks out. I did a calendar last week that was, I think, a month's worth of videos, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago now. So I don't have a regular day that I do them on, but this week I was with you guys tonight, and next week I'll be with our friend Nile over on the Silver Silk page on Thursday next week. So yeah, we're having so much fun with that pipe chain. The necklace, I don't know if you can see it in the video, but I'm wearing a necklace that I just designed with his the pipe chain, and our customers are just super excited about it with all the possibilities it has. So
it really
I've been trying to get totally innovative. I've told him before, I always am surprised by how I'm like, just when I think there's no possible way you could do something new with what you're doing, then you just like blow my mind. So
yeah, we have some pipe chain we're going to be playing with in a few weeks. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. Excited about that.
Teaser.
Yeah. Spoiler.
You guys want to see what I'm using it with?
What was that?
See. She's going to show us another example. I made some little components here, but they weren't quite herringbone. I need a little work. I need a little extra. I need a little practice.
Did you try some?
I did.
Oh,
I tried.
Wait to see what you do with
Kristen. Here, let's go into just Kristen so we can see you better, Chris.
All right. So I've got this little guy here. Let me hold it from the
Those
bottom,
are looking lovely.
Isn't that pretty? But it's not really herringbone. So, and then this one
too tight.
It is too tight. This one was my first try, and that's not really herringbone either. So then I tried this one. Yeah. So I did a little bit. The second one, I went a little closer on the bead, and the first one, I think I left a little more space, which is probably closer to a herringbone. But yeah, I have to watch the video again and give it another try, because I got up to get some beads, and then I missed a couple of steps, so I probably missed something important.
Oh, I see. Cassandra, did you have something to show us? Oh, you're freezing. I think we lost you for a minute.
Oh there. No, for a minute. Let's see if she
comes down here while Cassandra is unfreezing and show you what I made. I took the Love is Love bead strand and I mixed it with some of the Love is Love bead mix. This is what I have left from my strand, and this is what I have left from my mix. And I made a long necklace using white soft flex to match those earrings that I made yesterday on TikTok.
I love them.
Isn't it fun?
I love them. Yeah, I haven't gotten a chance to tell you how much I love the earrings that you did on TikTok yesterday and Instagram.
They're really cute. I love them, but I have a friend here in Benicia that I'm going to give them to because they just scream her name.
Yeah.
So
perfect.
As soon as I made them, I was like, oh, I have to give these to Megan. I just feel like they're so her. I might have to give her the little matching necklace now too. But that's what we do when we make so much jewelry. It's got to go somewhere. I can't wear all of it. Cassandra, are you still here? How's it going on your end?
Oh, I just see the one device and it's muted. So let's unmute her.
Okay.
Let's see. How are you now?
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you. Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Well, let's start to wrap up. Did you have something you wanted to show us before we leave? We were talking pipe chain, and I saw you
I'm
go
sorry.
to grab something. Oh, you can't hear us.
I'm sorry. I think one of my devices.
Oh,
Can
boy.
you still hear me now?
Not very well. So I think we're going to close out and let it be what it is. So thank you, everybody, for joining us today. We had such a fun time with Cassandra Spicer. You can find her for Bead to Live By on Facebook and Instagram. And you will be able to catch her with Nilay Patel from Silver Silk and More next week. So watch their Facebook pages for details about that. And in the meantime, make sure you go check out the Software Company Closeout section ASAP, because there are a few items where there's only 2 or 3 items at the most, and you don't want to miss out on it. You're going to get not only the discount that's our closeout discount, but you're going to get an extra 10% off, which is automatic, right, Kristen?
Yeah, it just as soon as you add it to your cart, as long as you're a retail customer, it'll pop that extra 10% off.
See that extra 10% show up. And also we have all of our new Love is Love collection up on the website. So the bead mix, the bead strand, the paints, the kit, it's all still there, but we are dwindling in numbers. So if you want to grab those, do that now too. softluxcompany.com, and we will have multiple videos using the Love is Love kit next month. Not just my normal reveal video, we'll have that too, but we will also have a special video with Sam Siegel of Sam's Bead Shop and Nilay Patel of Silver Silk, middle of June. Kay Goss from Stars Beads plans to open it. And we sent it to a few others as well. So it's going to be like a jam-packed June full of color, and you're going to get lots of inspiration from that particular kit. If you love, oh, go ahead, Kristen.
Vicki is asking, does the kit have the paints? No, the paints are sold separately. You can buy them individually in the colors, or you can get the bundle, which will give you a 10% discount, I think it was, for if you buy all 5 colors together.
Yeah, and just to be clear, the Jesse James Beads Mix this month is not in the kit. We have a bead mix from Sam's Bead Shop in the kit, which is unusual and different, but you can buy the bead mix separately and it will work fantastically with the kit. In fact, I highly suggest getting the bead mix and the bead strand and the kit, because the 3 combined are a lot of fun. And then if you have the money to add in paints and the pop outs, then that just like exponentially adds to your designing ability.
Your enjoyment factor. You up the joy.
Right, you up the joy. So good to have Cassandra here today. If you loved what you saw today, the beautiful bracelet that she made on the bead cruise, which can be made into lots of different components, or you loved those earrings, be sure to go over to her website and give her some shopping love. And I wish I knew, and I'm sure that Thomas can post it, beadstoliveby.com. I see it right here. Perfect. Beadstoliveby.com is where you're going to go. And it's Small Business Week. So this is a fantastic week to get out there and support your favorite local small businesses, whether it's your favorite bead company, whether it's your local bookshop or your own bakery or coffee shop in your town. Make sure you get out this week and just spread that love around a little bit. It's been a hard couple of years with COVID for small businesses. So any little bit you can do, go to their Facebook page and just comment on all of their posts to up the, ability for others to see it, or share something that they've put out there. We put a lot of heart and soul into all the stuff that we do on our websites and in our social media, all of our products that we load on our website, like Cassandra was talking about. So make sure you're supporting all those little businesses out there that, of course, love and support you back.
Such a good reminder, Sarah, that it doesn't always have to be monetary. If that's not in the cards this week, there are other ways to show your love by liking, sharing, giving hearts, signing up for emails, all those sort of things, so that when the time is right, you can support these wonderful local and small businesses that you love.
Yeah, and it helps us to find others that are going to love our small business too. So we really appreciate all the support that you give us in an ongoing fashion. And we will be back next Monday. Kristen will be here with Free Spirit Beading. In the meantime, we will be doing Beads and Blooms with Jesse James Beads, but I believe the kit is completely sold out. So if you are involved in that event, then we will see you there on Friday. And our session will be at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. And Kristen's got a great, what is it that you're making, Kristen? Is it a bracelet?
It's a bracelet. Yeah, I'm doing like a macrame bracelet, but not a lot of knots this time, more beads than knots.
Nice. And I'm doing a butterfly pendant on a necklace using Softflex beading wire. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully you're part of that event. If you're not and you want to be a part of the next event, go get the summer pool party jewelry making supply kit from us and the bead kit from Jesse James Beads. And that'll be at the beginning of June. Okay, I've said it all. I can let you guys.
The monologue is done.
So many
things. So many things.
All right, I love all of you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Cassandra.
You are a joy and such a wonderful creative soul. So yes. Thanks for being here. I'm sorry the end was so difficult and we can't hear you, but we love you. Bye.